lots of different exponent rules, but let's talk specifically about zero exponents and negative exponents. And I will take us through these three examples first, and then we'll talk about negative exponents on the next slide. In that first example A, I've got 5 to the power of 0. We have a base raised to a power of 0. What we know about a zero exponent is that as long as your base is not 0, it just makes everything 1. So 5 to the power of 0 is 1. For B, I've got a little bit more complicated of a base, but the exponent is still 0. When I have a power of 0, as long as my base is not 0, then we just get 1. I don't care what the base is, as long as it's not 0. So in our last example, this is more of a general form. You've got a base, you're raising it to a power. As long as your base is not 0, then you're going to get 1. But in this situation, I don't know what my base is. So yeah, it'll be 1 as long as x does not equal 0. For negative exponents, we've got a little bit more complicated of a situation. What a negative exponent says is that your base is actually on the wrong side of the fraction bar. So in A, I've got 2 to the negative third, which is in the numerator of my fraction, because we're not told otherwise. Since we're not told that it's in the denominator, we just assume it's in the numerator. But this negative exponent says actually that 2 isn't supposed to be in the numerator. It's supposed to be in the denominator of your fraction. So let me move it to where it's supposed to be. So now my 2 is where it belongs, so I make the 3 positive. And the positive 3 says, yeah, now I'm where I belong, so I can stay here. But the top of my fraction is empty, so we just fill it in with a 1. Simplifying all the way, 2 to the third would be 8. For B, now my negative exponent is in the denominator, and that tells me that my base isn't supposed to be in the denominator. I'm on the wrong side of the fraction, so I'm going to take this whole base and move it up to the numerator. Once I do that, I make my exponent positive, and we multiply by what's already there. So negative 1.5, and my exponent is now positive. But multiplying by 1 is not necessary to write, so I can just erase that, and I have that negative 1.5 to the power of 2. The bottom I left completely empty, so I'll just fill that in with a 1. Now I can simplify. Negative 1.5 squared is going to give me 2.25, and I could write over 1, but since it's in the numerator, we don't have to write that over 1. That's already assumed, so I'll just leave it positive 2.25. So my more general form is that if I have a negative exponent, that's going to move to the opposite side of the fraction. But again, because we're talking about making it a reciprocal or dropping it to the denominator, I need to make sure that my x is not 0. And that's all. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.